Brilliance Audio presents A Light in the Window by Julie Lessman, performed by Alana Kerr Collins. I will not throw up. I will not throw up. 18-year-old Marceline Murphy set her overnight case on the O'Rourke's wraparound porch and pressed a quivering finger to the brass doorbell, a battalion of butterflies barnstorming her stomach. The last time she'd been this nervous was at the age of 11, when she'd frozen on the top limb of a massive pine tree in the backyard of her best friend Julie O'Rourke. The memory of Julie's older brother, Sam, climbing up to rescue her, made her hands sweat even now, his body close behind as he helped her down, limb by limb. At the bottom, he'd tugged on her pigtail with that dimpled grin that had always fluttered her pulse. Best keep your feet on the ground and your nose in a book, Marceline. He'd whispered in her ear. You'll want to stay far away from danger. Danger, yes. Marcy swallowed hard. Heights and Sam O'Rourke, two things that made her dizzy. She heard the thump-thump of hurried footsteps on the other side of the door, and nervously smoothed her hair. Carefully puffed and pulled back on the sides in the new Gibson girl style, with a tortoiseshell comb, the rest of her long blonde curls trailed the back of her powder-blue shirtwaist. Adjusting her wide black belt, she slid a damp palm down her cream gabardine skirt that loosely hugged her hips before it spilled into a bell shape at her ankles. Children's laughter floated on the summer breeze, while a pink sky reflected in shiny parlor windows, casting a rosy glow on a white wicker swing. Marcy breathed in the fragrance of the scarlet pillar roses that coiled and tangled on a trellis at the end of the porch, their scent recalling summers playing jacks with Julie or discussing favorite book heroes while lazing in the swing. It had been 5 years since she'd seen her best friend. 5 long years since Papa had whisked them away to New York for his new job as a vice president for Reading Railroad. But he hadn't counted on an agricultural crisis that would result in a worldwide economic depression in 1893, costing him and thousands of others their jobs. Some of Marcy's excitement over returning to Boston ebbed as her thoughts strayed to the financial crisis, in which a quarter of the nation's railroads, including the company Papa worked for, went bankrupt. In New York alone, unemployment among industrial workers exceeded 20%, which meant Papa had been forced to return to Boston to look for work. Squaring her shoulders, Marcy shook off the malaise that always settled when she thought of Papa out of a job, but she had no doubt that her faith, and that of her parents, would see them through. Even so, tonight she was back home with her best friend, and she refused to let anything dampen her excitement of seeing Julie again. Especially Julie's brother. With her dog-eared copy of Jane Eyre clutched tightly in one hand, she pinched her cheeks with the other and waited, hoping she appeared more grown-up and confident than the pale-faced girl she'd glimpsed earlier in her bedroom mirror. The door flashed open, and she grinned at the high-pitched squeal of the best friend she'd ever had. "You're here! You're really and truly here! I could just kiss your parents for letting you stay over the very first weekend you moved back." Julie launched into her arms with a husky bubble of giggles that brought a sheen to Marcy's eyes. "Oh, Jules, I missed you so." Breathless, Julie pulled away, fingers clamped tight to Marcy's arms, as if she wouldn't risk her ever leaving again. Creamy white cheeks dolloped with a soft blush were framed by wisps of shiny black curls as laughing ebony eyes studied Marcy head to toe. "I knew it," she announced with a smug smile. "You've grown into a beauty, Marce, just in time to turn heads our senior year." She squeezed her again, her whisper brimming with tease. "Especially Sam's."